Boom, boom, Danny Buchan. What a ride this is, and it is on!
We are here on Pushing the Limit podcast with me, Danny Buchan. We've been friends for a long time, and I'm going to introduce Jake Dixon. How are you, mate?
Was going towards the bramble bush, but somehow made it round the corner, and Dad's like, yeah, he's definitely going to be a motorcycle racer. Old mate landed in the ditch he was leading, and I won the race because he was in the ditch.
Yeah. Me hanging my fat ass off the side up Cadwell.
Into the season, I had a really good season with that. I won the first race at Donington. Bike were blowing up pretty much every race.
You had like your foot peg and your handlebar in the floor, but your head was like on top of the tank.
Into the hairpin, lost the front, took me out, and then I got hit by Josh Wainwright. I don't know if I can race. I can't walk.
Like, you are a determined son of a bitch.
And I remember you saying your head is fat, mate. I would do anything for her, and I still will to this day, and I will till the day I die. Winning the year before,
To starting at the back.
to being at the back
Yeah.
on a shit bike, I will be world champion.
Boom, boom, Danny Buchan. What a ride this is, and it is on!
Hi guys, we are here on Pushing the Limit podcast with me, Danny Buchan, season 1, episode 1. Not really too sure what I'm doing, so give me a break. But yeah, here goes. So we have the pleasure of listening to a story of a guy who has been a friend of mine for a long time.
No, we've not been friends.
We've been friends for a long time, and I'm going to introduce Jake Dixon. How are you, mate?
Good, mate, you?
Welcome to London.
God, why do we have to be so sensible on this?
I know.
Let's just get real with it.
I know. But yeah, obviously, yeah, how's everything been, mate? Obviously, long season, back after, what was it, 18 rounds this year? First.
No.
How many was it this year?
Dan, you should know me long enough
And
now.
how many was
It's 20 rounds.
20 rounds this year, 22 next year?
Yeah, 22 next
Yeah,
year.
so 20 rounds, mate. That's mental, isn't it? Was you excited to be home, or did you feel like you had a little bit more to give and you wanted to keep going?
Obviously, when you're on the road, it's stressful, but once you stop, it's difficult to stop. And I never really did stop in this winter, because when I got home, then I needed to do things around the house. Obviously,
yeah.
I didn't need to.
Right hand in hand.
What? Yeah. No, obviously I needed to do some things around the house. I wanted to sort the front drive out, so I sorted that out. And yeah, it's been non-stop. And then obviously got man flu. And then come down to see you. Had the pleasure to see your good-looking face.
I know. No, I wanted to know, because like at the end of the season, when you're having such a good season, obviously you think you don't want it to end there. You just want to, like, you want another round. But I know that like my schedule is half as busy as yours, and yeah, I just didn't know if you're like, when you get home, you just want to reset, done. Obviously, spend some time with Sarah just at home, and Larry.
Yeah, I don't know. This is probably, I said to Sarah the other day, this is the first time in an off season where I've been content. Usually in Moto2, because things haven't gone quite right in the season, and I hadn't proven what I can prove, that I'm always wanting to get back to the season to start again, where this time I can actually sit back, relax, and I've got nothing to prove now. I know I can do it. I know I'm one of the best in Moto2, and yeah, it's just a matter of building, and yeah, I feel like I've got a good base to build on now.
Yeah, banging. Well, before we talk about next year and everything else, I want to know, obviously, I've known you for quite a while, but what was your like first memory of motorbike? Like, obviously, your family history of motorbike racing, but what's the earliest memory you've got of a motorbike?
The first memory is, I think I must have been about 3 or 4 years old, and we was at Nan and Grandad's, and I had a PW50. Pretty much everyone did, and I remember it was white and it had a pink seat.
Suits you.
Yeah. And Dad, I was riding round, and then Dad wanted to take because you can like de-restrict them, and Dad wanted to like,
like a little needle in the throttle.
Yeah. So Dad was like
that
de-restricting it, and he says, Jake, you have to be careful on this. It's dead. I can remember it like really clear, and he says you have to be really careful now, because you've got a lot more range in the throttle and it'll go a lot faster. I remember just pulling it back for the first time and just didn't know how to turn it back off again, and was going towards the bramble bush, but somehow made it round the corner, and Dad's like, yeah, he's definitely going to be a motorcycle racer.
And that was it, bosh.
Yeah, and that was it.
Done.
So 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old, PW50, round Nan and Grandad's house, just like dragging foot pegs from 3 years old.
My little sister did that, Rianne. First time she ever got on a motocross bike, just went like that, just full gas straight into the hedge.
Well, better than you then.
Better than me.
You've never been full gas.
No, exactly. And then what about, and then you started obviously motocross, didn't you? You went into motocross or Supermoto first?
Yeah, but I did a bit of motocross, but nothing where I did it long enough, you know? I was always like bits and bobs, because we never had enough money to be fully committed into it. we would do the odd Saturday and Sunday here and there. I did a few East Kent races.
East Kent, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was there.
And I did. I raced more in 50s when we did motocross than I did any other class. I never raced 65s, and I did a couple of races in 85s. But I won at. Do you remember Newnham?
Yeah. That's East Kent's like home track.
Yeah. So I raced at Newnham, and I won my first race at Newnham. And I came after the first time I won. I came into the pits, and you'd always have to do a lap of honour, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Wave everyone.
Yeah, and I didn't even know I won. So I pull in the pits. My brother runs over. Jay, go!
Yeah.
You gotta go around. I says, what? Go around for what? He says, you've won the race. Have I? Didn't even know, mate. The old mate landed in the ditch he was leading, and I won the race because he was in the ditch.
Yeah, decent.
But no, yeah, it was good.
Them drop-offs there, my old man, I remember him one time.
You could double them.
Yeah, he's saying you need to hit it harder. I was like,
yeah, mate.
My dad was a motocross dad.
Your dad is still a motocross dad.
Still is a motocross dad.
Big Jim, we all love him.
Big Jim TikTok, in case anyone needs to know.
Hey, if anyone needs to know, Big Jim on TikTok is his man of many talents.
Isn't it? And then obviously, so from there, you did go Supermoto, didn't you?
Then I did SuperMoto, and that was in 2007 was my first year. And I remember Dad saying, look, let's try SuperMoto. I think you'll be better suited to that rather than motocross. I was an okay motocross rider. I was not anything special.
I've seen you, mate. You go all right.
No.
No.
I go all right. I'm endurance. I go for a long time. No, but 2007 we went, and I said to Dad, oh yeah, I'm going to win the championship. He says, no, you're really not. Like, it's your first year in SuperMoto. There's a lot of fast people. I says, yeah, whatever, Dad. Like, being the cocky 12-year-old that I would have been. Yeah, I'll be all right, Dad. I'll win it.
Yeah.
And I started off, and the first race meeting, I did all right. And then I got into the season, and then by the end of the season, I actually won it. So I was like well smug with myself. And then, but 2008, we ran out of money again. So I didn't do anything in 2008. And then 2009, not a lot. I did the odd race in SuperMoto. And then I did one race in Super Teens right at the end of the year of the last Thundersport round. Yeah. And I think I did it at Rockingham. So, and I can't remember where I finished in that. No, it was at Brand, sorry. And I high-sided round clearways.
Bosh.
That's why I remember.
That is it. That is the high side.
Yeah, high side.
On the Aprilia.
Super Team 125. That's
you must
30
have
horsepower.
so much lean angle.
Yeah, but do you not remember my style? I was pushed down the bike
and you
like
just
I was
had
SuperMoto.
so much lean angle.
Yeah.
We'll get to that story, obviously, the Spanish one. And then obviously, And what was your dad doing? What was your dad doing, like money-wise? Like, how's he earning?
Well, he always... at the time, he always owned a motorbike shop down Coombe Valley Road in Dover. It's not the nicest of place. Pretty rough. Literally, I am from Dover. Yeah. Like born and bred.
Dover
where dad's
shout him out.
Shop is. Yeah. Motorbike shop was opposite. I was into this world.
Yeah.
I was born into
was
this
you?
world.
Yeah, he was born into Dover, mate.
I was born and bred Coombe Valley Road,
that
mate.
Is it.
So yeah, deep down, love Dover.
Born in the shop, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously then you went into the Super Teens, didn't you? Did you do the Super Teens year after that then? 2010.
2010 was full first year, and won a lot of races, crashed a lot though. Crashed far too much. It's been the story of my life, really.
But you was quick though.
Yeah. Dad always said to me, you need to stop crashing, but at least you're fast.
What do you know?
Yeah, shut up, Dad. It's
and
not
obviously
like
your dad, like a little bit about the family history, your dad was we've got to shout Darren now.
He don't need any
more
praise than what he's ever had.
World champion sidecar.
As he would tell us 2 times.
But he did have 3 wheels, which is not the same, is it?
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
Much easier with 3 wheels.
I said to him, I'm more successful on 2 wheels.
It is, because it's much easier 3 wheels. I definitely think so. I would never. You wouldn't pay me enough to get me in a sidecar.
Yeah, all right, here's a scenario. Would you get on the back of me if I was driving the sidecar?
I don't know, because I know you wouldn't want to crash,
You'd be
but
good
I know
for weight.
You're loose.
You would be so good for weight.
Off season,
We'd
especially,
win.
Yeah. We'd have so much grip.
You'd have to lose some weight, though.
We'd have so much grip. No straight line speed.
No straight line speed, but we've got so much corner speed.
So much grip, mate. Just full gas. Me hanging my fat ass off the side up Cadwell. Up turn 1 at Cadwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not good. And then, so obviously, Super Teens 2010.
2010, and like I said, done a lot of crashing, done some winning.
Is that when I met you, 2010? When I was all arrogant in that?
2011, that was. I met Danny for the first time in 2011.
I was this little fat kid as well.
Like, and you were so arrogant, it was ridiculous. We were down on the little, it's like the rally track bit, innit? Yeah. And you're the most arrogant fat kid I'd ever seen in my whole life.
Just knew I had it, mate.
Yeah, but mate. No, I had it. You was on 600 or 400.
No, I had it.
No,
600s.
you was on 400.
No, 2010, 600, 2011, stock thousands I went.
Oh, so you would have been 2011. You would have. Oh, mate,
Yeah.
you was big time then.
Yeah, I was big time.
You was
Stock
big
thousands.
time.
Won the first round at Brands.
Yeah, so I met you, thought you're an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
And who is this guy? And then
He's like, hello, mate, I'm Jake Dixon. I was like, yeah, decent.
yeah, you're like, decent. Yeah, go away, mate.
Just walked
I
off.
don't even know who you are.
No.
On your little 450. Because I would have been in Thundersport on the Aprilia 450s. So I went Super Teens, then Aprilia 450, where you would have been on stock 1000.
Yeah, and then obviously that's when you was. When did you know? When was you like, mate? I always remember a point in my career where I was like, oh my god, I could actually do this as a career. Like, I know when we're younger, we're like, mate, we're gonna race bikes. But when was that turning point for you where you was like, I'm actually gonna be able to do this professionally now? I think it's when you got
Actually, good question. I've never ever thought about that.
maybe when you went. Do you know when you went Superbike halfway through the season, and you did well on it, didn't you? Straight away.
Yeah, that. Yeah, probably.
Let's not skip though, because you went obviously. You went from the 450 to stock 600s at junior with.
Motorbreakers
Yeah.
and motorbreakers at the time. So 450s, I finished second in the championship to James Fulcard. Again, story of my life. In them first 2 years, I crashed far too much. And then after that year, Dad says to me, "We haven't got no money. Like literally,
Done the budget, mate. Times 4. Like we're done.
Time's done,
Yeah.
mate." And so we needed some sponsors, but we didn't really have any. I've got the loyal sponsors that have been with me from the beginning, that are still with me now. And yeah, it was Motorbreakers that last minute gave me an opportunity to ride a 600 in British Superstock. And I remember just doing one test before the first round. And I'd only ever ridden... No, I didn't. One test at Mallory Park. And I remember getting on it and loved it. It was so good.
Testing at Mallory as well. Like,
Oh, but
yeah.
at that time, I didn't care. I knew no different. And
just whatever, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
loving it. And I just thought, oh my God, like literally, this is what I'm made for, big bikes.
Yeah.
Or at the time, bigger bike
Bigger
than what I
bike.
had. And
And when you make that transition, it's huge. You think,
Massive.
wow, mate, I can high side
You
this
think-
everywhere.
from a 450 to a 600, I remember opening up for the first time and thinking like, going down Mallory Straight, like, oh my God.
And now you think if you got on a 600, you'd be like,
Oh my God, it's just
I
dog,
can't high side
dog
myself
slow.
off
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
can. I know you
Oh,
can, but yeah.
Quite easily high
yeah,
side
yeah,
still.
yeah.
But yeah, so went from that and then went to the first race. Again, Dad always used to say, I used to be really confident, and now I'm like, I'm not confident, but in riding, I doubt myself more. I think as you go up the ranks, you just start to doubt yourself a lot more. But at that time, I was young, fresh, and just thought I was going to absolutely destroy everyone. And I said to Dad, I'm going to win the championship. I'm going to win the first race. Dad's like, you need to calm down. You just do this all the time. You crash far too much, so just calm down.
Yeah.
We go to the first race, qualify third, and I'd never ridden a bike in the wet before at Brands Indy. And I started off in warm-up, and I finished warm-up 24th, and I'm thinking, oh my God.
Oh, no.
I'm third on the grid,
Yeah.
and I'm going
Oh,
backwards in
no.
this
Yeah,
race.
Yeah.
But went off and luckily got into a good rhythm and won the race by 10 seconds. So it was a good thing. So then I'm
Tick.
well
Tick.
confident.
Bosh. Yeah, we'll have that. Yeah.
Then I had many crashes.
yeah.
But I think it's the start of the career. Third year in road racing, crashing far too much.
Just sending it. That's what. It literally, like, you just
Hey,
go
your
out.
story of your life, you still send it.
Ouch.
So
But I think it's really funny because, like, even now, like, obviously at a professional, at the level like we're at, obviously you're in MotoGP paddock, but you do lose that like innocence and the naivety of like when you're young, you don't think about anything else, do you? Other than winning. Like now you're like, right, the race is long. I need to look after my tyre.
Yeah.
This is happening. This is happening. When you're young, mate, you just send it. You don't literally care, do you, about
No.
the conditions?
you
or
just go as hard as you can.
And, like, for the whole race.
Hard as
Your
a-
arms could be falling off. And
Yeah,
you're
you're
still
just
pushing.
going hard at
Yeah,
it, mate.
yeah.
But you don't think of anything really. There's no fear when you're young.
No, you just go.
And there's more like a race weekend now. So tactical, isn't it? It's like FP1 and
Everything
2. Everything's
matters.
so crucial. Always trying to work through something. Mate, I couldn't care what a bike setup was back in the day.
No.
Literally, I would just go out, ride it as hard as I could ride it. And if it didn't go fast enough, I'd be thinking, well, it's me, rather than it could potentially be the bike, So
And now, as soon as it starts to run wide, like you start like a millimetre offline, you're like, nah, I'm pulling in.
Yeah.
Nah, mate,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bike's
yeah.
running
yeah,
wide.
it's not good yet.
Well, how bad? Well, yeah, it's terrible, mate. It's like I'm over there, mate. I'm like foot offline. It's like, mate, when you're younger,
But as a
you
kid,
just don't
mate, a
care.
foot offline, mate,
Nah,
you
you just
still-
be full gas, just twisting it on the gravel.
I'll lean it over more.
Yeah, just spinning up, whatever.
Yeah.
If you crash, you go whatever. Mate,
I'll
crash.
lean it up.
And then, and then obviously you went to Supersport then, didn't you?
Supersport, and then I went with Craig to Supersport. It was Supersport Evo at the time, though.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like
the
a class within a class.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit more difficult. I had one pole position in that year when it was like Graham Gowland, Glenn
Strong
Richards,
field.
Billy McConnell,
And
Stuart
Mossy
Easton.
was there on the Triumph.
Mossy,
weren't they?
So they were all there, and done that, and then I broke my scaphoid. I
That
had
was a stacked field, man. Yeah,
massive high side at
Where?
Alton Park.
Yeah.
But for some reason, stock 600, I went all right round there. But when I got to Supersport, I really struggled, and I was like, took me ages to figure out how to go really fast around Alton Park. For so long, I was so bad.
I'm still trying to figure it out, mate.
No, but for
Yeah.
so long, it's
Yeah.
such a technical track that, it's one of them things that took me so long. I used to get arm pump all the time, and I never get arm pump now.
Probably too stressful, like overriding
Yeah,
the thing, weren't you? Hard,
And I
yeah.
think the one common denominator I always used to do is if I wanted to go faster, I always used to try brake later. But I think that's the same for everyone until you try and figure it out now that actually braking earlier to prepare the corner is much
we
better
still have
than...
this conversation.
Yeah, so...
Hey, Jake, I'm qualifying now, mate.
Yeah.
How do I go faster?
Yeah,
Dan,
Jake, there's
Dan,
something you're definitely doing with
just
bike
calm
setups.
down. Oh, mate. Yeah. And obviously, so then...
So then broke my
yeah.
scaphoid, come back in 2014 with Appleyards, had an absolute disaster of a year.
Well,
Just
but yams again.
Yams again, but
yeah.
bike were blowing up pretty much every
Yeah.
race. It's the time when Appleyards was really in dire straits with their
Yeah.
bikes blowing up.
Yeah.
And they'll even say now, like I speak with Robin still, and they're obviously doing amazing things, and they've done amazing things throughout the Supersports career that they've been in. And that time in their career was not a good time. And I've got fourth positions and whatnot, and I think I might have finished. I don't know where I finished. So I know fifth in the championship or something, but many DNFs because of the bike just kept blowing up, mate.
And then-
Remember just being on like warm up laps, bike blow up. Like, I'm not even started the
Just
race.
like
Just like no way.
universal language for I'm pulling off, mate.
Yeah, exactly. But then I went 2015 with Smiths,
Yeah.
and then first race
Testing in Spain.
Oh, mate.
Come past me. I was on a superbike, weren't I? And you
went-
literally come past me with so much lean angle.
You're like, Jay, you're going quick, mate, but
But you're leant over far too much. You had like your foot peg and your handlebar in the floor, but your head was like on top of the tank. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, mate, I don't know how you've got any tyre left. Like, I don't know how you didn't ride it off the tyre.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
No, back then, though, like again, I would have been young, 19,
I know,
mate.
yeah,
19, not knowing anything,
No,
raw
just,
still.
again, full
just
sends,
going at
and that's it.
Yeah, going at it. So then we got into the season. I had a really good season with that. I won the first race of the season at Donington, and then I finished third in the championship.
That was a good year, though. I
Was
remember
a
that was
good
the
year.
kind of a year for you, I think, as your career. I think that's when a lot more people were sort of like, oh, yeah, he's actually...
Yeah, it's almost breakthrough
that
because
was
I had a
your-
couple
yeah.
of tough years in Supersport.
Yeah, and that was
And
like,
then-
look, he's put it all together.
Yeah. So no, I had a good team with Smiths. Smiths gave me the opportunity after obviously a difficult year with Appleyards. And it was... Then I went and signed for Dave Tyson with MV, and it was really... I'll be straight, it was really the worst time of my life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And let's face it as well, for most of these experiences, you're paying, aren't you? Like, in
Yeah.
our earlier years of racing motorbikes, you're
yeah.
paying for this.
Yeah.
And it's like going to a football team and going, yeah, I really want to play for you, Liverpool, but like there's my £90,000 a week salary for you.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's, like, it's mad, isn't it? And
So-
it's getting worse, but yeah, so you're
It's much
pay- yeah.
worse than even when I first started. It was bad when I started. Now
Yeah.
it's like doubly bad. It's not even good. But yeah, rode for Dave.
Terrible season.
No, I didn't even do a season. I did 3 races, and then Brands Indy. Man, I had so many in testing. The bike was. I remember going on like an MV test, an official MV test. So
This was
Jules
an MV.
Cluzel.
Yeah.
What was his name? Zanetti was there, and Cammy was there on Superbike, and it was me, and then I can't remember who else. And at that time, I think MV gave us the bikes.
Weren't MV going up the old Swanee at that point? Was this
Yeah.
like when
So
they
it's
were
all,
sort
it's
of
all
like-
bad, but bearing in mind, you got World Supersport. Jules Cluzel was winning races at the time, and we went to Cartagena, and they'd hired the track, and we, I think, ended up using one of their bikes or something along the lines of that happening. And I remember at the end of that, so I'm riding with them, and it was good because it was a good gauge to see where I was towards them. They had full traction control, etc.
That must be on a 600. That must be sick.
Yeah, and I never got to ride it, but their bikes. But my bike was obviously full BSB spec, but with what their engines were. And I remember riding round, and at the end of their test, I think I ended up like only 0.1 behind Jules Cluzel. So at that time, I was thinking, mate, MV's good.
I'm going World Supersport. This is I'm gonna just clean up BSB this year. And I'm out of here. I'm gone.
Yeah, and I was thinking, MV's like mint. Bike handles great. And actually, I had a really good team around me. I had Andy Machen and some good mechanics as well. And basically got into some first test again the following year and had massive crashes. Bike, no end of problems. And then, found out that the bike was actually a stock bike. And in the end, I left Dave and I had nothing. I left him with nothing. And I was committed to leave him because I couldn't do it no more. I knew I was not going to be able to show my full potential on that bike.
Not even like you had a carrot dangled. It wasn't even like you had someone there saying,
I had nothing.
Come on.
Literally had nothing in front of me, and I took the risk of just stopping and hoping that someone will give me an opportunity. And funny enough, I knew Lee quite well, and I messaged him and said, "Oh,
this is Lee Hardy."
Yeah, Lee Hardy, sorry. And I said to him, would you be willing to put another Superbike out for me at a test just to see what I would be like? And he was like, yeah, all right. And I didn't expect him to come back and say that.
Yeah.
But where I was up front with him, he was up front with me, and he says, well, if you do well enough in this 2-day test, we'll run you for the rest of the year. And we went to Snetterton, and you would have been riding then.
Was I on the Ducati then, or was I on?
Yeah, you'd have been Ducati. Yeah, because I think you swapped.
I stopped riding it, didn't I? And then went to the Kawasaki that I was riding that year. the old now.
Yeah, it was
funny
bad.
That
bike was
it?
bad.
We had some, that Cadwell was funny.
Yeah, that was. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
No,
that must be when you knew though, because when you got on that Superbike, you adapted rapidly. Like considering that you're going from riding a 600 to then no traction. I know you don't have traction on the 600, but you need it on the Superbikes.
I couldn't believe the adaptation that I actually made when I rode Superbike. I felt much more comfortable in a 2-day test than I had done riding 600s my whole time. It's like seemed to be the bigger bike. As soon as I got
your riding style.
Yeah, my riding style seemed to suit it a bit more, which is funny because I used to run so much lean angle. But then in the end, I changed it a lot more when I rode that Triumph because it made me pick up the bike more because it had so much bottom end.
And couldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've got on the BM and it was good. But do you remember the first race I'd done at Knockhill?
I thought your first race was Thruxton because I remember you being in the front row, weren't you?
No, I did the first race at Thruxton and at Knockhill, sorry, and I qualified 12th.
Yeah.
And
I
remember
you crashed. You and Shakey crashed, didn't you?
I remember two laps into the race.
I'm trying to do what he's done.
No, 2 laps into the race, overtook Shakey.
Yeah.
I'm up to 6th position or something.
What am I doing?
And next thing you know, who comes flying past me? Shakey, out of control, mate.
Yeah, did he?
And I'm like, I'm thinking he's not happy because at the time, Shakey was my manager.
Yeah.
And I said to him before, I don't think it's good now that we're both racing each other, and I think we need to go our separate ways. So it was all, at that point, was a little bit sticky situation. Because I says, what happens if one of us takes each other out? It's not going to look good, and I'm going to be annoyed or you're going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
And this literally manifested into
at the
happening.
hairpin.
Yeah, he come past me into the hairpin, lost the front, took me out, and then I got hit by Josh Wainwright.
Yeah.
Cleaned off my feet, mate. Hit me so hard, mate. Spun me so far off my feet. And I remember just laying on the floor thinking, my first Superbike race is not going too well. What am I doing,
mate? Yeah.
And I generally thought...
Dad said not to crash.
Yeah, Dad said not to crash. No, but then I was thinking, that is... What I said is going to happen has happened. Now I've hurt myself because I've been hit.
Yeah.
And I remember just getting stretchered off thinking, I think I've broke my pelvis.
And this is literally motorbike racing. And like,
Yeah.
you go from being like the emotional roller coaster from racing. You're like,
Oh, my God.
I've qualified 12th, not too bad. See how the first race
Getting
goes.
up, just getting
mate,
up there. I'm like, I'm
I
up
can
there.
see the first 5, like, because you then at that point you're going, I can probably get on the podium here.
Oh,
Can't
well,
you?
no, I wasn't thinking that.
You
would
was
be
probably thinking
that.
I can win it.
No,
You definitely would have been, oh yeah, mate. God, this is well easy. I'm going to win this.
No, I was
definitely thinking that.
I can't remember
And
what
then
I was thinking. But
all of a sudden you're on your arse, and
Yeah.
then you're getting yourself up thinking.
I went to
oh,
pick the
I'm all right.
bike up because I
Bomb.
was looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Shakey because I was thinking he's picking his up. And at that time, I couldn't remember if you could pick your bike up in Superbike
I think he
or
wanted
not.
to try and get into the pits probably,
Yeah.
didn't he, straight away, yeah.
So, and I
In
went to
case
pick
of
my
a red
bike
flag.
up. Yeah. Smacked me, and then I was down, and then I finished 13th in the next race, which was wet. First time in the
And
wet
you
on Superbike.
probably saw.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, well, so I got lifted onto the bike.
And that's another thing with racing, isn't it? Like for people, if you don't know, if you don't watch racing, like we are expected,
Yeah.
we expect for ourselves really
Yeah.
more than anyone, isn't it, to get on the bike. If you're injured, you get back on. Like
Yeah.
Steph said to me once, I can't believe you're telling people you're right, and I'm like, I am all right.
Yeah, but I just remember.
Because you have to, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. You
just have
tell
to get
them
on.
you're all right. But I remember just being. Well, you don't get long between race 1 and 2 anyway.
Nothing.
But I remember being
hours.
in the caravan at the time with Sarah, and saying like, I don't know if I can race. I can't walk.
Yeah.
Like, so what happened is I got lifted onto the scooter, and then when I rode the scooter down, and then Lee lifted me on the bike, and then I could just
adrenaline.
get one foot down on the
Yeah,
grid,
yeah.
and then I was away. But in the race, I was all right. I got going, but after the race, I was dead, mate.
Adrenaline's so magnificent.
Yeah. It gets you through.
Innit?
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was obviously good, and then I had some good moments.
I think then it was like, yeah, you're gonna. I definitely felt like that in that moment. Obviously, we was mates at that point, but I definitely felt at that moment you was gonna be a successful superbike rider. I didn't know how far you could get. I know that you always
Do you
been
know what though?
determined.
It's
but
funny that you say that because my whole career, as much as when I was like I was saying, when I was younger, being like a cocky little shit and thinking like I'm great,
Yeah.
but everybody else for my whole career has never thought I will do anything. It's weird.
Has that motivated you, do you think?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's always seen me as like, oh yeah, he's not that good. Oh yeah, he's Darren
Yeah.
Dixon's son. Oh yeah, he's not actually that good. He's
Yeah.
not that good. And I feel like I've got a chip on my shoulder to prove it.
Yeah.
And I still feel like it's like that now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not that good.
Yeah, it's not.
And I'm like, it fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
It pisses me off bad because I dedicate my life to it, and
Yeah.
I ain't bad. Like, do you know what I
No,
mean?
mate,
The stuff
gosh.
that I've done is not bad, and I
No.
feel like that motivates me to
Yeah.
keep going. And no one's seen the best of me yet, and I'm more determined than ever to show.
Well, that's one of my
everybody
questions anyway, because I know like people would say to me, Jake shouldn't have gone to Moto2, and I'm like, mate, I got asked the question, like, does he want to be a shark in the small tank, or does he want to be a small fish in the big shark tank with the
Yeah,
boys? And
exactly.
I said to you, didn't I, when we had the conversation, you've got to go Moto2, mate.
Yeah.
And that, like, obviously we'll get to that point in your career, but like everything that you do, like you're obsessed. Like even when we were out mountain biking that time, do you remember? And we were cycling back up the runs.
Yeah,
Everyone else was pushing their bikes. We were cycling back up the runs, obviously for fitness. And there was them 5 steps or 4 steps, weren't there?
Yeah.
And until you got up them on the bike, clipped
weren't
in,
going, was
we
I?
couldn't keep going, could we? And how fried was my head getting? And then when you did it, and I couldn't do it, and then eventually I did,
Yeah.
but you kept pushing me. And like I think that's something. Like for yourself, like obviously years ago, I remember being in my flat and you being like, right, mate, what are you doing today? And I'm like, I'm just in the flat. I've trained at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm training again at 3 o'clock
Yeah.
tonight. I'm like, what have you done today? Like 2,000 metre row. And I'm like,
At
what?
that-
I know,
at
but you
that
didn't know,
point,
did you?
I didn't know
No.
nothing.
And then now, like you're training. Obviously, it's a completely different world, and we'll talk about your career now. But how much you've like had to overcome, and how much you've like to where you've got to now. Like you are a determined son of a bitch. Like I hated going against you because you just don't fucking give up, mate.
No.
Like you don't, do you? Like let's be honest. Like,
No, but
you are.
I
It's
think
not
that's
in
the
your DNA, is it?
It's my mentality, and I think it's
If you're out running, and you feel shit, and in the first kilometre. And you got 9 to go. You'll do the 9 kilometres at shit.
100%.
But even if you walk it, you'll do it.
someone says I've got to
Yeah,
do
you
10,
do it.
I'll do 11.
Where me, I'll do a kilometre and be like, I feel like shit. I'm just gonna go home, mate.
Yeah,
I'll do another
no.
9 tonight.
No.
You just keep going. You are relentless, and that is something that
Yeah.
I'm actually jealous of personally because the relentlessness you have and like the determination and like the shit you've had to overcome, man. Like we'll talk about it, but like from like Sarah getting breast cancer, from you breaking your pelvis, from like every single thing that you've overcome, and you're 26, and it's like, it's mad, isn't it? Like, it's actually mad.
Being 26 years old, like young still, and the stuff that I've had happen, I never thought would happen. I know you can't obviously see where life's going or what life path you're going down and what's going to happen in the future, etc. But that's all the stuff that's happened to me already has made me who I am today.
So,
and if I didn't have that happen, I wouldn't be who I am.
Do you think that shaped you? That's what I was going to say. Do you think that has shaped who you are?
Sarah, my wife, has shaped me to being who I am now, because if I hadn't have met Sarah, I'd be fully off the rails. I wouldn't be where I am now, put it that way. And she gives me motivation, she gives me drive, she gives me she everything. She's my rock, she's my everything. She's the heart and soul of me.
Best mate, travel around the world with her.
Everything. I spend every single day with my wife. And there's not many people that can spend every day with their wife.
No, exactly,
And I can tell you now, look, we're normal and we're normal people and we have normal experiences, but we don't tend to argue that much.
Yeah.
And yes, obviously we bicker here and there.
Yeah, but
over normal stuff. But
you're halfway across the world, aren't you, as well, most of the time?
Shit, man. Like, I couldn't ask for a better person to be with.
Well, for her to have to give up what she does, like in her ideal world, she would, like, Sarah's obviously an avid cook. No. She loves her.
Sarah is the most talented person that is given up her dream to follow my dream. And I will never ever be able to repay her enough to what she's given to me that I can give back to her. So for her just doing that gives me the motivation, and I will be world champion.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I don't care to say it, and I don't care what anyone else thinks of
arrogance, but it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
It's drive, it's determination, it's hard work, and it's having the good support system.
I've said it to you. How many times have I said it to you before? I genuinely think you're going to be world champion, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. Like, I know you're one of my best mates, but we talk the truth to each other, and I genuinely think the determination you've got. Like, I genuinely think you're going to have a MotoGP contract in 24. Like, I sincerely hope that you get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And but yeah, man, like, for like to do what we do at the level you're doing it at MotoGP, if you haven't got that support package, like, mate, you can't do it, can you? And like, and everything, she like her role at racing, she's pregnant. At Silverstone, she's pregnant, lugging your helmet and levers around. I'm going, Sarah, what are you doing? She's like, I'm all right. And I know she's a doer, mate. Off me saying that, I know, but she is a doer.
And you know what? One thing that really gets her back up is when people go, "So, are you going to the next race?"
She's pregnant, by the way.
Yeah.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
So I keep telling her, "Are you resting?"
But the one thing that winds her up is people going, "Oh, Sarah, are you going along to the next race with Jake?" And she's like, "Are you stupid?"
I'm his help. I literally, because you have to have somebody help. Like,
Well, you don't have to.
No, but yeah.
I obviously have. So basically the short
Sarah's
and,
role,
short and simple of Sarah.
She packs your bags. She cleans your pants.
My accountant. My life advisor. My helper. My cook.
Your partner, obviously.
My partner. My lover.
I feel sorry for her, man. She's got to have 2 kids to mother now, and with you, like, obviously. Yeah, that's going to be experience. Yeah, you're obviously going to be a dad.
And sometimes, look, I'm probably guilty for, when Sarah's at the racing, say I've had a shit session and I come in and I'm fuming, and because she's my rock and because she does everything for me, that I tend to throw my shit at her as well.
I know,
But then that's unfair on her, because I shouldn't do that, and I am learning to not do that. But it's difficult because then it upsets her because I speak to her like shit.
But that's because you see her as a mate as well, like you're a best mate, innit?
Yeah. And I'm just, it's not that I'm speaking to her like shit. I'm offloading, and I need that to offload to clear my mind. But a prime example, right, of her telling me to get my shit together. I was in Japan this year, and what had happened? I think Friday had gone real shit. I know. Friday, we had one session, and it was an hour long.
Monsoon. Was it the monsoon?
Yeah, and it was dry, though. And I ended the session, I think, in 14th, and I was 1.2 off.
Big gut.
head gone, mate. Like fully not.
Making changes through the session, bike not working.
No,
just
not really doing.
Not comfortable.
Just I don't know. I just didn't feel good. It wasn't coming, and like my head's well up my ass at this point, and I've got the and we're walking back to the car. She just turns around to me and she says, "If you don't fucking sort your shit out, your weekend's fucked." Like that.
So,
Fully like that. And I was like,
towel between your legs. Sorry.
no, but I'm like,
Yeah.
that. And she's like, and then she just lays into me. She's like, proper, if you don't do this, and this, it ain't going to be good. Blah, 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 blah. She says, you can make you always can make the decision whether you want to hold on to it and let it linger through to the next day or get rid of it now.
Yeah.
And luckily got rid of it. And if it wasn't for her saying that, my weekend wouldn't have turned out the way it turned out. And I went third in qualifying, and then I went fourth in the race.
Yeah,
so do you know what I mean? It's like,
get
from
over
her
it.
just telling me
get
that.
over yourself.
Yeah, she's just telling me you need to just get on with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's real good that you have that support system in racing, and unluckily, like I say, I've got that with Sarah.
Yeah, and obviously, so then getting back to your career, obviously you went to, so we was at 2016, 2017. So you was with Lee Hardy, weren't you? 2017. You got into the Showdown that year, didn't you?
Yeah. So I went Kawasaki. Yeah.
No,
but I came back from a broken hip, didn't I? From end of 16, I broke my hip.
Oh, yeah.
And I lost my brakes. I hit the tyre wall.
Oh, mate, you got
smashed
through.
my hip out.
Literally, weren't there? There was like a 2-foot opening between Lee Jackson and
somebody else. Yeah.
And you went straight through the middle.
Do you know what? I generally thought,
if you hit Lee, you'd have broke his leg. We
would have been dead, mate.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
And if there's ever a moment that you feel lucky to be alive, was that moment for me. And
any no break moment.
No, I've had a lot.
I know you have.
Well, mate,
you've had too many now.
And yeah, obviously broke my hip, and I remember just laying there on the floor thinking,
was it
mate,
painful?
something
was it bad,
no, because at the beginning, no, and it weren't. And I went to get up.
Oh.
And I remember looking down and seeing like my hip up here.
Oh.
And trying to get up.
Oh.
And going like, fuck, something's definitely not right. And I thought I broke my femur, but couldn't feel like it didn't feel painful at the time. And then they were like you need to not move. Something's not good. They didn't know what it was. I says, I don't know, something's not right.
Just see your hips sticking through your levers.
So yeah, as soon as they picked me up, pain like you wouldn't believe. Put me in the. They didn't stop the race. Stuart Higgs didn't stop the race. Yeah, but didn't stop the race, and I found it the strangest thing. Didn't stop the race. The ambulance was on the track. Put me in, and old mate's going like the clappers in the van, mate.
Yeah.
And I'm rolling around with a broken hip.
Safety probably.
Mate,
all of you. Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I remember when he went off, mate, watching the video back. Big like puff of like smoke, black smoke coming out the back, and old mate just giving it some.
Yeah.
And I remember getting back into the medical centre, and they ripping my levers off, and they were like, "Right, this ain't good. We need to get your hip back in. You broke your hip." And I remember them just saying,
and dislocated it.
Yeah, I remember they saying, "We're gonna give you morphine to take away the pain because this is gonna be real painful." And luckily, they had a orthopedic nurse on site that could pull it back in. They don't have them at every race.
Disgusting. That makes me
so
feel sick.
You think they don't have them at every race. Luckily, I had them at this race, and they said, "We'll give you the morphine." Mum was there. Mum never comes to the racing.
I remember
Mum was there, and Mum came in. Mum's crying, Dad's crying, Sarah's crying, everyone's fucking crying. I'm crying, and I remember them just saying, "Right, we're gonna pull it back in now," and I don't remember anything. And then I remember just coming back round, and they were like, "Yeah, you passed out."
Because of the pain was that
Must
bad.
have been,
Your body just shut
down.
That's mad.
So they pulled it back in, and then they strapped it up and took me to the hospital. But that wasn't even the worst thing. Got to the hospital, and they strapped my legs so bad. Like, bearing in mind, BSB, fantastic job to was ridiculous. Like to this, even to MotoGP, I think they're probably the best. Like in BSB. But they strapped my leg up to obviously keep it in place, because if they didn't strap it, it would just pop straight back out. So obviously getting to the hospital, I've been 7 hours in this strap, and it was killing me, mate. And I just said, look, the pain's coming from this. Can you just loosen it? They wouldn't loosen it. So it's like 8 hours now, and they loosened it eventually. I'm screaming by this point. Loosened it. Then I got the x-rays and everything, and they was like, this is bad. Like, this is not good.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for filling me with joy.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fucking bad.
But
My
then-
hip's
but
sticking out. It keeps popping out and you unstrap me.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm like looking at the X-ray, and he's like, right, you've basically broke your pelvic, broke the corner of the ball socket. So like your ball socket sits in like that, and I'd smashed the top of my ball socket off, so I had no bone there. And basically, they had to plate the outside of it. But at that time, I think I broke the top of my ball of my femur as well.
Oh my gosh.
But so they fixed it all. Said to me, right, you'll be good.
Good to ride tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, no, you'll be good. But it's going to take 12 weeks of not walking. So I had 12 weeks of not being able to weight bear. But then I went to see a specialist on hips. He's like the best in the world. And he says to me, oh yeah, you're not out of the clear now just because it's fixed. He says, you've got until you're out of the clear 18 months. He says, because in that 18 month, your ball can die. Because basically in the hip, the top of your ball joint, there's like blood vessels. It's like limited blood flow to it. And they said basically if you've damaged that, they can't see that.
Yeah.
If you've damaged that, the ball of your hip will die. But you won't know. It could die in the last month of the 18 months. So it could be 17 months and it's just dying.
And it'd just be like bristle.
And then you'd have to have a hip replacement.
Oh my gosh.
So then you'd be out for even longer. So I wasn't out the clear for until, when would that have been? I'd done it in 16. So it would have been end of 18 maybe.
That's
it would have
mad,
been end of 18, yeah.
Remember going away? We went away, didn't we? And you was on your crutches. We went up for a bit of a
Yeah,
piss up, didn't
that
we?
was
A little
good, yeah,
weekend,
that
just
was good.
With the girls, didn't we?
Yeah,
That's funny,
love that. Yeah, and we were just getting all loose.
Getting all lashed up in the hot tub.
Getting all lashed.
Don't do it, guys. That's
Getting
like 10
lashed. Yeah,
times the effect. I
bad.
swear to God.
It's
Then
bad.
it's not. 2 pints ends up being like 20
Just getting up
pints.
to watch Conor McGregor
I know,
UFC,
yeah.
Dan, you up, mate?
Nah, mate.
Nah, I'm not going to go back to bed.
I don't want to watch this fight. I'm going to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, so then
But then-
basically it wasn't out of the clear. That took a long time
The
to get.
swimming, the amount of swimming you was having to do.
Man,
remember?
I couldn't do anything other than swimming. And I was doing 100 lengths a day. I got well fat. The heaviest I've ever been, mate. I was 72 kilos. Bearing in mind, I run at 64. So, like, I'm heavy.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying your head is fat, mate.
Yeah,
You got a
I remember
big
just
fat
looking
head.
at you. I've never really looked at you and just thought you looked like you just had a fat head at that point.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just, I think all the weight just went to your head, mate.
Yeah, it did, yeah. It went not many other places. But
No.
Nah, but so then obviously you had to come back from that. And 17 was a really good year, actually. We swapped to Kawasaki. I got my first win at Knockhill.
Remember you getting in the showdown, didn't you? That at the remember you got into the showdown at Silverstone.
Yeah, in the last
Like,
race, mate.
30
it was
people
monsoon,
fell off. There
wasn't
was
it?
like 4 finishers.
I finished third.
I know. Christian had to do was to finish in the place that he was in.
Dude, I was shit in the rain. Like, I was like 8th.
I know.
And then he come flying past me and I'm like, yeah, I ain't got that.
And then
then-
at that point during the race, I remember at that point you was out of the showdown.
I was
Like-
out. And then
Yeah.
come down the new start finish straight and he's sliding down the thing.
Span
And
off, didn't he?
and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, he's all right, but yes. like,
Yeah, I'm in the
come
showdown.
on. I'm in the
Yeah.
showdown. And then finished that. And then obviously it was in the showdown.
Was
So-
you being paid? Was you being paid that 17? That 17
Yeah,
year?
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you start your
So
professional?
Lee paid me for
So
that. Was
you
my
got your
first
first
ever
professional
year
contract.
that I got paid.
As an actual pro,
Yeah.
because people
So
loosely
that's
throw
probably
around
the year.
Yeah.
Going back to your question before,
Yeah.
that's probably the year
before,
that I thought, now I'm actually a professional motorcycle rider.
because people call
Because now
themselves
I'm getting
professionals and they don't get paid, do they? No, and
You're
you
not
go,
professional.
mate, you're not professional.
You're not
Yeah.
professional until you start getting paid to ride.
by your team.
Yeah, by your team,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And so got I had a great year 2017. Won 2 races, many podiums, and then got in the showdown and it didn't end how I wanted to. I think I finished 6th. But then
And then 18 was the year, wasn't it? Was 18
was the year that I went for the championship.
and that was the year that Sarah got diagnosed with the
No,
aggre-
17.
17 she got. So that was 17 you was going through that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because let's talk about
17
that. That was,
and,
I remember,
well,
obviously,
obviously.
I remember going
17
away.
was a big year because, like I say, I won 2 races.
Yeah.
But then straight after I won the 2 races, Sarah got diagnosed with cancer.
Well, she went for like a checkup on the Friday. We was in Cornwall at the time, and she went. You was like, "Oh, Sarah's got a checkup with the doctor."
Yeah.
Larry's found a lump.
Yeah.
And then on the Monday you phoned me, and obviously you said, "Oh, it's breast cancer." And I just remember just thinking, "Fucking hell!" Like, wow, like
yeah.
what, like even me and Steph, mate, like our world was like spun on its axis a bit, you know. And
Do
like,
you know what?
how looking back through that though, like how
Yeah.
did you? Because Sarah's going through this life-changing thing, yeah. Like, and let's like touching on like you being a vegan.
Yeah.
Remember, Brad was like straight away cut out meat, and you was like,
Yeah.
Sarah's cutting out meat, I'm cutting out meat, and you
Yeah.
literally stopped then and there.
Yeah.
But for Sarah to try every day and to overcome this, obviously this is probably shaped who she is as a person now, but like you're racing and then she's trying to support you racing. You're supporting her in this, and it was just, it was madness, weren't it? It was just,
well,
how do you overcome that?
Yeah,
man?
first of all, it was like when she got diagnosed with cancer. Well, first of all, when Larry found the lump, you just think, it'll be all right. Yeah. And then she went to get checked, and then I remember driving to the Nuffield in Derby.
It was like Thursday and Monday.
Yeah. And I remember going in, and I remember the bloke's called Mr. Sibrin. He sat her down, and he says, it's actually hard to speak about.
No, it's cool, man. Because it was that's what I'm saying, though, the emotion, like no one knows what you had to actually get through. It's
when she got diagnosed with cancer, he says like, you've got cancer, and I just remember thinking, fucking hell.
Like, what are you talking about? How is this happening? Yeah.
You think
you don't think it happens to people, do you? Like you?
No, but I was just thinking at the time, like, fucking hell, like, how can the nicest person in the world be given such a shit fucking run? Such a such shit.
And why her? Like, innit? It's like, why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
And I remember just driving back, bawling our eyes out,
just
and
thinking, what have we got to do? Yeah.
But then at that moment in time, I'm just thinking like,
and it was an aggressive one. It was an aggressive. It wasn't. It weren't like it was.
No,
you've got cancer. You're going to be fine.
Free,
it
so
was bad.
It's like the most. Well, it was one of the most aggressive cancers you can get, and all I was thinking is, I've never said it to her. I was just thinking, please don't fucking die.
Yeah.
Like don't.
Yeah.
I would do anything for her, and I still will to this day, and I will till the day I die, mate. I will support that girl through anything that she ever goes through, and she showed me resilience
in that
moment of what she's been through. And the only thing that got me through it was the racing and her saying to me, don't let this affect your racing.
Did you think it, like, would it be fair to say
motivated me,
and it distracted you from that at that time?
It motivated me, and do you know what? I was more determined then, because I was like, the fucking better I do, the happier she is. And I can't change what's going to be the outcome. All I can do is support her from the outcome. And
but at this age, you're not even old. Like, what was 20, you, like 24, 23? Younger than that.
21.
Mate.
21, and obviously Sarah's older than me. Sarah's 11 years older than me. So, but she's fucking young to have breast cancer. And honestly, just touching on breast cancer, like, if any women feel any lumps, go and get checked, because it's such a big thing that women are scared to go and get checked. And same for men with testicular cancer. Go and get it checked. It's a big thing, and men, it's fine to go and get help, because don't feel embarrassed by it. It's nothing to be embarrassed by.
And if you wouldn't have gone, imagine if like, let's say, because I'm sure it was like a Wednesday, like she found the lump, and I'm sure Thursday you guys were driving to the clinic to have it checked out. Like, imagine if she left it. Like,
no, the NHS.
You know what I mean?
No, the NHS said no. We can't get you in for another 2 weeks, and then she went on her private healthcare the next day.
Yeah. And then got called on a Monday.
Listen, if it's for the NHS, yes, they do a lot of great things. She may not be here today.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's only because she had private healthcare that I feel that it saved her life.
Yeah.
And then she obviously had all the chemo treatment, everything, and
the quickness of that, like, you literally went on a Thursday, Monday they phoned you and was like, come in.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that was that quick,
and then
wasn't
she
it?
obviously had all the chemo at home. But if you ever think you've got it difficult, right?
Yeah.
Or racing's difficult, or this is difficult. If it's difficult, nothing is difficult, because if you see what your wife
and you're
goes
helpless.
through, my wife, she's not even my wife at this point.
Yeah.
My partner's going through at this point. That's fucking difficult.
I couldn't comprehend it. Yeah, and like
not even like, yes, it's hard for me, but what she's gone through is fucking miles harder. I just I just want to take it
Yeah.
and make everything better for her.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I would, like I say, I can't describe the roller coaster we went through as a couple together to get her through it.
Was you building a house at this point as well? Well, no, the house was built, weren't it?
No, 20.
The house was
No,
built,
the
weren't it?
first day she had chemo, we moved into the new house.
So yeah, so as all this is going on,
Yeah,
she's on site. I remember her being on site at the house, having all the house built.
Yeah.
Like what shows her character.
Yeah.
Like she's dealing with this and having the house built.
Mate, she's
double hard.
She's relentless.
Yeah.
And she's my inspiration to what she's done and what she's been through. And I can't. The story's long, man. But
I think we're going to do a podcast with Sarah. I'm going to get her on here.
No, I generally think you should. She's more interested than what I am. So, but she's what she went through with that was really, really difficult, and she went through so many different. It went on for a year,
and it was like a roller coaster, wasn't it? And that was during the 18 season as well.
Yeah,
where you was fighting for the British
I think it was
Championship.
halfway through the 18 season we got given the all clear.
Yeah,
best moment.
Yeah.
No matter what, any racing,
Got married.
any racing, anything.
Yeah.
That just her getting told she's in the clear.
Yeah,
is miles more than anything.
Yeah,
That put it into life. That's put it in perspective. Sorry, what life's all about. At that moment, then I knew racing's not everything.
nothing mattered, did it?
Nothing
apart from her health.
Nothing mattered other than getting her healthy. And now she's as fit as ever, mate. And now we're having a baby, which I never thought we would even have because she obviously had cancer and it kills the eggs. And she went to the fertility clinic. She won't mind me saying, and they told her, your chances are pretty slim. You're probably not going to get pregnant. And then so I feel like we're having a miracle baby now.
Is the baby going to be called Miracle?
Baby's going to be called Miracle, yeah. So, no, it's good. And
when's the baby due?
Baby's due in March.
Woo!
So not long now. She's getting big. She's actually currently ill at the minute.
I'll give you some tips, mate. I've got so many baby tips.
No, I don't need any
First
baby
of all, I
tips
was like,
from you.
mate, you told me the news, didn't you? And I was like, have you booked any baby classes?
No, I haven't.
No,
Dan.
but
I'm doing it on natural instinct.
I literally.
I'm winging it.
When my babies were
I'm
born,
winging it on a natural.
I could have literally delivered the baby. I felt like
But
I
Dan,
could have just faced off the
You
midwife.
are the most useless person when it comes to anything in life.
No, DIY.
Dan, Steph does all the DIY.
She does, yeah, that's true.
Steph is the doer in the relationship.
Yeah, my wife's pretty special.
I don't even know what you bring to the
I just
relationship.
literally go out. I'm like the hunter gatherer. I just go out and just get money.
Actually, I know what you bring to the relationship. I know what you bring to the relationship, but we can't actually. We'll keep this PG. Yeah, we'll keep this PG.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I am pretty useless at some things. Hopefully, I'm good at podcasting. We'll see.
Well, hopefully, people will obviously keep tuning into this. But
then obviously, so you got to 18, didn't you? You had a good year anyway. You literally lost the race at Assen, weren't it? When the bike
when
broke.
bike blew up. Yeah,
and that was it, weren't it?
Yeah.
And then it was like you couldn't do anything else, could you?
No, and
was there one race to go after that? It was Brands.
Yeah, Brands. Yeah. And I did it all. I did all I could do, and fair play to Leon. Leon rode great, and Leon had the better season in the end. So.
And then obviously that was the turning point, weren't it? We went to Austria, didn't we? Was it Austria? We were in 18.
18.
Yeah, it was like
18. Yeah.
And you was like, mate, I'm gonna go and have a chat to a couple of GP teams. Do you want to come out to Austria? And I was like, yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, come in. Mate, what a couple of helmets trying to travel abroad.
God.
So our flight is delayed to Vienna. We land in Vienna, didn't we? We have a hire car booked for like 11 p.m. to take us to our hotel, which is probably about an hour from the airport. Yeah. The flight was delayed. We end up in Vienna, wouldn't we? Like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, but...
And no taxis. No hotels.
No taxis, no hotel. Hire car places shut. And we're like, mate, we need to be at the track tomorrow.
I literally just flagged this geezer down a taxi. I'm like, hotel. And he's like, hotel. I'm like, hotel. Take us to a hotel.
Sorry, do that again?
Mate, hotel. That was more Italian. Anyway, we get in this cab, don't we? We're just driving nowhere. And this geezer pulls up to this ropey old roadside services and it's got some shitty hotel on the side of it. And we're like, mate, whatever, we'll sleep here for the night. Bearing in mind, we had that lovely hotel booked.
Oh, mate.
And the next day, we're in meetings, didn't we?
Yeah. So, we went there and it was good, wasn't it? We met... who did we meet?
I don't know, mate. I was acting as your representative.
No.
I was
we
just
met.
Put him on the bike. He's great.
I didn't know who he was. Yards,
the boss.
No, the bloke, that celebrity who does all the junk sales.
I know that I nearly had a fight with a German guy in a garage.
Bob, is it?
I don't know.
No,
mate.
who
oh no. Oh, that's going to come back to me. Little dude, long grey hair, black glasses.
Yeah.
Ben, you're gonna have to chuck a picture. I'm gonna get a picture of him. You're gonna have to throw this picture out there, mate. But,
yeah, what's his name, mate?
He threw a hazelnut on the floor at me, yeah, and he said step on it, and I said no, I'm not stepping on it, and he said step on it, and I stepped on it. It had like no, it's a walnut, and it had like a condom in it, didn't it? And he went to me, that'd probably be too small for you, in his accent, and I was like, cheers,
yeah,
mate.
he's American, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was American. Thanks, back in the But I remember talk about me, yeah, being like blasé about things. We literally. So we went, didn't we, with the bosses of MotoGP, and we sat there, didn't we?
So I take you with me, and
I just lapping
the
up
most
hospitality.
embarrassing thing that could happen happened.
I was hospitality hopping, weren't I?
You was, but I'm there in front of one of the bosses, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you need
He's
to
the
sign him,
bollocks.
mate. He's the bollocks." And I'm like, "Oh my god,
He's the bollocks, mate. He'll win your
Oh my
races.
God.
No, mate, this is all you need is me in your background.
oh my."
But then we go in this meeting, yeah, and matey boy's like, yeah, come in here, mate, have a
Yeah,
sit
but
down.
what we're forgetting out of all of this, I raced against you at this time.
Yeah, but you're using my best mate. I was just helping
But-
you out
and-
anyway. It didn't really matter, did it?
Not many people would do that.
No, I know. But we go. So we sat in this office, yeah, and he's like, one of the bosses is like, yeah, you don't want to ride for this team. You don't. This team's good. This team's good. This team's good. And he said, oh, by the way, literally, yeah, and this is literally how it went, isn't it? Word for word. You're sat at the front of the desk. I'm sat sort of behind you, and he's like, do you want to ride the KTM at Silverstone? And I went,
Mike Trimby.
and, yeah, and you go, what, the GP bike? And he's like, yeah. They need someone to fill in, and you literally just went, yeah, all right, mate, yeah. And we left, and I went to, I'm going to swear now, but I said, mate, you literally just offered a fucking MotoGP ride, and he was like, yeah, what? And I was like, MotoGP, like, mate, it's the best thing in the world. Like, it's like someone coming up to a British touring car driver and offering them a Formula One drive. Like, it's the best thing in the world, and you're just so blasé off the cuff about it. And I was just like, this geezer is a lemon.
Yeah.
Like, why does he not? And I was like, yeah, if he don't do it, I'll do it. Imagine
remember
me.
you saying-
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it never came through in the end because
No,
Aloris Bazza.
they wanted somebody with experience on MotoGP bike, didn't they?
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
was
yeah.
fair because
Yeah.
that would have been loose.
Yeah, it was mad times.
But then obviously, yeah. So then you went into Moto 2, didn't you? And
Yeah.
like, it's different.
But there's so many things like
Yeah.
literally we could roll on all
I
day and
know,
all day
it's
because
so
I'd done
much.
wildcards I did two
Valencia.
wildcards in 17.
Took Ramos with you. You wouldn't mind. Ramos
Yeah.
wouldn't mind me saying that you and
Yeah.
him probably.
No, it was good. Good
you gelled
combination.
well, didn't
Very
you?
common.
He used to calm you down because you was a little wanker at some points in your career,
Dan,
man.
we've totally forgot. Remember, I come crying to you, mate, in 17, the beginning of the year when all my team walked out.
Oh
left
yeah,
me.
yeah. And this same year,
I left Lee and
This-
just left Lee in the lurch.
yeah. And what about this same year? You went to Cabell Park. Remember that test? You went to Cabell Park.
Oh,
and
this
you
is
was
your
slower.
famous story.
No, but not
you
even
tell.
me. I'm just saying. You literally come to me and we was
No,
testing.
but this is what I'm saying. This
Yeah.
is your story. You always say this.
I
You're
know.
like, I don't know how
No,
you've done
like we went to a
this.
test at Cabell Park and you was slower than me. I was on a Superstock 1000 bike, weren't I? And you was like 1.1 slower than me on a
Yeah.
stocker. Bearing in mind, you should have been probably like 3 seconds quicker than where you were.
Yeah.
And I was like, how's the test? She was like, oh yeah, mate, really shit. Like, oh, not in a good place. And you was in a bad place actually at that
Yeah.
point, yeah, because it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
terrible day.
Oh my god.
It would have been better if you didn't actually ride the bike that day. But anyway, you come to the race. Did you win it? Didn't you win it? Or
No,
did you,
I finished second.
yeah, you finished second, like a week later, and I was like, mate, how the fucking hell did you turn that round like that, man? Like, but yeah, there were so many stories, isn't there, in them
They're
years?
literally, we can keep rolling
Like the team,
them off,
yeah.
mate.
It's Saturday night at Brands, and you was like, oh, Friday night at Brands, you was like, mate, I've got no team, and you was literally,
Yeah.
you was punching. I come in the motorhome,
Yeah.
and you was crying, and then you started punching out the motorhome.
And you were
Sorry,
like,
Ed.
mate.
And I said, geez, calm the fuck down now.
Yeah.
You can't be doing this. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna get sorted out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like. Chill. You can't change anything
But it
right
was
now.
the best thing that ever happened because then Glenn came in.
Glenn did come in. Oh
and
yeah,
then
that
Glenn
was
just reinvented everything.
everything,
like,
weren't it?
and
that's
brought
your-
basics. And then that's when I got my first win.
And that's when your relationship with Frankie formed, weren't
Yeah.
it? Around that time as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
and
yeah,
Frankie's now your manager,
yeah.
and
And
was
he
crew
was
chief
Joe
in.
me as crew chief, yeah.
Yeah,
So that every this is what I'm saying. Every good thing happens when it's meant to happen in
Yeah,
life.
definitely.
And at the minute, I think, like, for instance, I wish I got a win this year, but my time's not ready yet.
no,
My time will be ready when it's meant to be.
it would have been ready if you just pulled your finger out at the start of some of them races.
Yeah.
Nah,
and
mate.
if I'd made less mistakes. But this is all learning, and I'm
But,
not ready for it.
mate,
I'm not ready for it.
Let's just the Moto 2 bikes in general, like. with the Superbike, like as an equal comparison with the Pirellis on a Superbike, you can feel the front moving. You can go through druids, be on losing the front completely, and you go, I'll just dig my knee and pick the gas up or up, drive off the corner. Mate, the Pirellis, the Dunlops that you guys use, you don't have
They're
feeling,
like concrete,
do you? Yeah, you literally do. You do. Like one race I've been watching this year, and it was like Canet was just out front. And he was just performing. He had a solid race. Yeah, he was just bang, bang, and he just crashed like out of like just nothing.
I think it was Texas.
Yeah, Texas, and I think Joe Roberts did the same. Maybe he was out
Barcelona.
leading. And like, let's just talk about how hard these bikes are
hard,
to
man.
ride.
But they're not just the tyres; it's the chassis that goes with it. And I'm used to it now. But I remember the first test when I rode in 19, and I just remember just thinking, "Oh my god!"
Coming from a production bike, but this is when KTM were going. They were
Moto2,
but weren't they pulling all their Moto2 out?
Yeah, but that was only halfway through the season that they'd done that, and KTM were in dire straits, mate. I'd got on the worst bike you could ever get on.
And that's with the team you're with now, weren't it? Though.
Yeah.
But then you got back with them, didn't you?
I'm back with them now.
family.
So yeah. But
mate, we got so much to talk about.
No, most difficult point in my career is 2019. I generally wanted to finish. I wanted to
keep
quit.
saying, Joe, come on, mate. Like, just don't.
Yeah.
I actually thought at one time, I genuinely thought if you crash again, mate, like I actually was worried about you, like personally, like actually worried. Like I'd talk to Sarah and be like, "Is Jake all right?"
It's the first time I've experienced depression.
Well, I was going to say to you, like now you're like quite a big advocate for mental health and mental health awareness and that.
Yeah.
These points, people don't understand. Like before you jump on social media and start slagging off riders, these people don't understand that. Already, we are at that breaking point, like mentally. Like our wives will know it, our family.
We beat ourselves. So no matter what old mate says from his sofa on his keyboard, shooting us down, we already feel shit, mate. You don't need to say anything.
You should be bigging people up,
you should be support. Yeah. And this is what I don't understand. If you're a bike fan, right, don't shoot us down. Fucking support us. Because we're the ones that at the end of the day are entertaining and doing what you guys love watching. So don't shoot us down. Support us. We're all out there fucking trying.
Risking our lives. I know we get paid for it, but
Brits get a bad rap in Moto2, MotoGP.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, none of them guys would get on the bike, crash, keep crashing, and keep trying to go to the limit. They'd crash once and then I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
But we get on and on and on and on because we want to keep going, we want to succeed, and crashing's part of it. So just support us. This is what really frustrates me in you call yourself a fan, but if you're not a fan, if you are slagging people off, like the football. So leading up to the World Cup, England, best thing since sliced bread. Come on, England, come on. Yeah. Yes, the best thing. When we're winning, yeah. Then when we lose and we go out of the top 16, you shit.
Yeah,
Harry Kane shit.
Yeah.
Harry Kane's not shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what Harry Kane is?
Yeah.
Fucking good player. And do you know what he does? He's got so much pressure on his shoulders that none of them people will ever experience in their life.
All the racist stuff they had last year as well, weren't
Ridiculous. It blows my mind.
And they're not fans.
And then they wonder why people take their lives.
And why people don't want to. Yeah, why people take their lives. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's of people like that shoot you down.
Yeah, yeah.
So come on, guys. Like this is to the every general fan.
Just
don't shoot us down. Support us. Get behind us. Because we're doing it for you guys.
Yeah. Before you type that shitty message, when
just
you
think how it's going to make me feel. I've gone off social media now because
I remember you took yourself off before, weren't it? The abuse was bad.
Halfway through this year, I took myself off because I experienced so many negative comments to me saying you shit.
I say to you, don't read them, mate. Didn't I? So turn your notifications off.
Yeah, give up.
Yeah.
You're not good enough. Yeah. This, that, and the other. And mate, I'm leaving myself out there now, but I've cried when it comes down to people saying shit stuff to me because I care what people think about me.
Yeah.
Where I shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't.
And I don't now.
Yeah.
Because actually, it's irrelevant what anyone thinks. But I'm human. I have emotions, and I'm beating myself up as much as anyone can throw any comment at me.
And the shit thing is, you're really good at riding motorbikes, and this is your job. So it's like going to work, and if you're a trader and you have a bad trade and you lose a load of money, imagine that. But then having 100 people or thousands of people in there going,
you shit at your job.
Yeah, yeah.
You shit.
You're shit, mate. Give up. You're shit.
Yeah, you shit. Useless.
Yeah, I know. I switched off my emotions quite a few years ago to all that because Yeah, like I know the sort of impact it has, and when you have kids, it will change because you won't care about what people say because the only thing that matters is your wife and your kid.
Yeah.
And when you have kids, that changes. But imagine like what I would say to somebody who's about to type a really shitty message. Imagine that's your kid, and someone's writing them things about your kid. Yeah. What you're about to write.
Well,
like, you're not going to do it. Like that's just not a nice thing to do, is it? Or just offer him out in the paddock, mate. When you see him, just offer him out.
Yeah, can't.
Imagine
do you know what worst thing would
be?
be? They'll be nice to your face.
I know. Oh yeah. Hello, mate. Can you sign this for me? Yeah. But you don't know them because they're hidden behind their keyboard.
But the problem is, I'm all for the fans. I love my fans.
Yeah. Well, now your following's going from strength to strength. Obviously, your podiums. You and you do wear your heart on your sleeve. Like you're emotional, but you're not emotional. But you're inwardly.
Dan, what we're like, I'll be like to what they're.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll speak the same. I'll give them the time of day. I'll spend.
You treat anyone the same. Yeah.
I'll go beyond, and in the end, people like my media guy tells me I need to stop.
Mate, you need to calm
because I'm doing too much,
giving too much time instead of your own time,
and rather than focusing on the time that I need to be focusing on. But that's just me in general. I will always do that, and I will always give to the fans, and I love my fans, that people that support me, and like I say, the good side of it, there is so many good fans, and it's not all negative.
No, exactly.
And we need to obviously get that out there as well. But touching back on the mental health thing, obviously I experienced it bad in 2019. Yeah. I had a voice in my head. Still have it there now. I named her Cheryl.
Like doubt, like self-doubt.
Yeah, so
I nearly called her self-doubt.
She's that negative thought that I always have. So whenever something good happens, something negative always comes in.
Yeah.
Everyone has it. And I put a name to it because it helped me just put a silence to her. And this is where Sarah came in, and this is where Sarah was really good because she's so good mentally.
Where'd the name Cheryl come from? Do you not like Cheryls? Is there like a Cheryl?
Sarah says...
Does Sarah not like a Cheryl?
So any Cheryls out there, we don't like it.
Sarah, we're going to ask you about Cheryl.
Yeah, so... No, but that for me helped me overcome my state that I was in at that time. And I can... Honestly, I've never ever experienced so many low moments in my life. But I think it could have been down to... I'd never... Sounds stupid, but grieved for what happened for Sarah in her cancer.
Because you was dealing with it.
Because I was dealing with it, and I was just fully on it. And I think in the end, a year out, it hit me. I was having a shit season, didn't want to race anymore. Obviously, all the shit that's happened, and it's real. Shit's real, man. When you feel shit, it's bad.
Was this the first point you went to GP?
Yeah.
So was this
first year?
So let's just talk about as well, not only the fact that you've got a load of new tracks to learn, you're on a new bike, a new championship, you've gone from 11 or 12 rounds at the time, BSB was 12 rounds.
Flying everywhere.
You've gone to, driving everywhere here to flying everywhere 20 times a year, not with testing.
Then,
like how hard
winning,
was that schedule?
Winning the year before.
To starting at the back.
To being at the back on a shit bike.
Crashing, hurting yourself.
Crashing a lot.
Big crashes. Adapting
knock
your
myself
style.
out.
Yeah.
And
remember the rear brake thing? Like you was like, I need to use rear brake.
Yeah. And I had to adapt. I had to start using the rear brake. I went, mate. I've been through so many different tough times, and this is why I spoke the other day. And I want to use my platform. Not that it's massive, but even the platform that I have, I want to use to try to support mental health, not just men's mental health, but also women, for every person out there to talk about mental health, because it is a big thing. Not only riders, not only athletes, but just general public. Everyone in the world should be given a voice to be able to talk that they feel bad, and that they should be able to talk and have someone to talk to. And I think the more and more people we can get to talk, the less people that we will get to have that end their life. And obviously that's such a sad time, and I want to, like I say, use my platform, and I want to do more things to help charities, just use my profile to boost to what I want to do. I actually spoke to MotoGP to try and do something where I can do something with them to get it across to more of their platform as well, and really want to make a difference in the life of not just racing. I'm going to be world champ. I know I will. And obviously, the more I grow my platform, it will help me to help other people, reach out to them and make a better impact hopefully in their life as well.
We always, do you know what? Like me and Steph, like we always talk about mental health and things like that, and we just say, like, we just have this sort of like weekly check-in. Like, you all right? Like, how you coping? Like, because if you can't talk to your wife about how you're feeling, or your wife can't talk to you about it, who can she talk to? Like, some people I know find it a bit easier to talk to other people. But yeah, I mean, just spreading the word, obviously, just talking.
But even me putting that post out the other day, I just done it because I just wanted to just put the feelers out, and just a little backstory that even athletes struggle.
We all struggle. We're human, aren't we? Yeah.
So we're all in the same boat. We're all in it together, and the only way we'll overcome it is by talking. And I had a few people message me saying that they've been struggling, and obviously it was nice to see that they'd reached out to me. And I just tried to give some information that I found helped me back to them. And listen, at the end of the day, that's miles more than anything we can do on a motorbike. Is making sure every person, humanity has good. It has a voice and is good. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say on that part, and hopefully I can do something more to reach out to them.
Right, mate, let's go and get ourselves a drink, because we have been waffling for a little while now.
I've got dry mouth.
Yeah, and we're going to come back for part 2. Thanks for tuning in to the first ever episode of Pushing the Limit podcast with me, Danny Buchan. Be sure to tune in next week where we've got part 2 with Jake Dixon. And in the meantime, check us out on all the socials, Pushing the Limit Pod. Catch you later.
Boom, boom, Danny Buchan. What a ride this is, and it is on.